Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Chat with Honeybees. Hey, Highway Star, welcome. You got here early because baby girl Wendy said there was free cake. There's free cake, huh? Hey, Elmer. Good morning, Honeybees and Chat. I won't be able to join this morning as I have a doctor's appointment, but I'm with you in spirit. Okay, honey. Thinking about you too, hun. Just go back and watch the replay. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Um, so, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, December the 6th. Can you believe we are almost finished with this year? It feels like the older I get, the faster it goes. Even though in the midst of it, it seems as if it's going slow, but it moves so fast, doesn't it? The weather this morning here is like 70 degrees. So we're up and down with the weather. It's really damp and wet outside, humid. It's just crazy. So today I want to give a shout out to a couple of people before we get started with everything. Good morning, my queen. Yes, everybody, hit that like button. That way it gets into your algorithm. Hitting that like button is for you as much as it is for me. And yeah, like and subscribe and share if you know somebody who would like to come to a chat that is free from drama and that we touch on many different topics, and you have a safe place to share, then share the live with people. I try to keep it to an hour and a half or so. That way it's a really easy time to listen to. Everyone is welcome, and I encourage you to share. And if you're not ready to share, that's fine. Just listen to everybody else, but I want to be like an outreach. So yeah. But I want to give a couple of shout outs. Queen Indie Mom, if you can, ma'am, drop DJ Wraith's link. Everybody, if you love music, this is a great guy. His name is DJ Wraith. Go sub to his channel. Yes, we prefer no drama. We will deal with it if it comes to us, though, right? We won't back down, but we don't start drama. No drama. Yes, DJ is very cool. I jammed out last night as long as I could before I needed to go to bed. And I told him I'd give him a shout out today and have everybody go and sub to his channel. So we'll get that link dropped and everybody go over there and sub. And he's been doing some lives and they have been amazing. Also, I want to lift up and pray for LaPuffy's boyfriend, and I want to pray for LaPuffy also. We just lift them up, and I just speak peace and healing over that whole situation. And I ask for wisdom, that the doctors will have the wisdom to find out what's happening. She's supposed to be over with her boyfriend for a week in San Diego. And so we just ask for strength for her, strength and love and peace. Got my coffee, everybody. Okay, so we got those two things out of the way. So, you guys, I got on the news last night just to kind of pilfer around and see what's happening. Good morning, Harry. Good morning. Welcome. And y'all, today the title of the chat, the topic, I should say, of the chat is In the Trenches of Grief. We're going to be talking about grief. I've chosen Tuesdays to talk about grief. And we're just going to touch on all kinds of stuff, okay, guys? But I was looking at the news, and Kirstie Alley passed away. And if you don't know, she used to play on Cheers. And she did some other movies and stuff like that. And but she ended up passing away at 71 years old from a secret battle with cancer. And so I was saddened by that. I hate to hear, of anyone passing, but yeah, it was kind of sad and kind of fit in, not kind of, but it kind of led into what we're going to be discussing today. Let me see. I've got something that I would like to bring up and show, and let me see, how do I do it? It's not coming up. Video clips. Add video clip. Camera. Well, dang it. Where did I put? Oh, well. I don't think I can show you guys. Hey, Dagmar. Good morning. Good morning, Kaisa. Let's see who else in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I was trying to see. Okay, guys, since I can't show you on here, let me see. Man, where is it at? Y'all, I can't find. I did some. Oh, goodness. Well, Okay, guys, I'm just going to have to play with this some other time. What I'll do, Okay, guys, instead of me trying to do this, good morning, Miss Mail. Good morning, Miss R. I'm sorry. Good morning, Miss R. Okay, guys, so I posted um, a community post this morning because I was not sure how to show you guys on here my clip of the 5 stages of grief. And that's where I want to start out today talking about grief. Let's, kind of start at the beginning and we'll kind of get into, um, other things and we'll just let the chat flow and we'll see, where we go with everything. Um, the 5 stages of grief, like I said, I put it up on my community post on the wall so you can go check it out and write it down if you need to, or screenshot it, whatever you might want to do, if you want to keep it. But the 5 stages of grief is a series of emotions, oh thank you, experienced by people who are grieving. Okay. um and I want to say this, I want to preface this, that there's many ways that we can grieve. It doesn't have to necessarily mean that it's the passing of someone. There's times we can grieve a relationship that maybe we've had to part ways. You grieve that relationship, right? um and a lot of times we don't recognize that and we don't give ourselves space to do that. So grieving is not just about um, someone who has passed. It can be, you can be grieving the loss of someone before they pass because you know that they're going to be passing, right? So you even start your grieving process early. Um, and so I just want to preface that before we get into talking about grief, because I don't want it to be like, well, I've never had anybody pass. Well, maybe you've experienced having, loss of a friend, of a relationship, or, something of that nature. So just remember that, grief can come in many forms, and it doesn't have to mean that someone has passed away. Okay. Um, the number one um, stage is denial, right? Um, Denial is number one. Processing a loss can bring about various emotions and can be difficult to accept. That's usually, I know for me, it was the first stage uh, of grief for me. Um, even when my son was diagnosed with cancer the first time at 15 years old, um, we grieved during that time, because you have to understand that, in one moment your life is a certain way, and in the next moment everything has changed. Everything has changed. The state that you live in changes overnight. The the place that you lay your head down at night changes overnight. um, Being in hospitals, I mean, if you can't handle it, you better learn real fast. You better put your big girl panties on and pull yourself up by the bootstraps, honey, because you're fixing to go on a ride. And that's how it was for the next 3 years until he graduated from high school. And we grieved the loss of our present life, I guess is how I would put it. We grieved that loss because we had to get used to, living somewhere else, living amongst people, because we lived at the Ronald McDonald House, and there was, a lot of people there. Um, yeah. So you're there with other people, which, at first you think, oh my God, I can't deal with this. I'm going to be seeing these other people. I'm going to be seeing their children. I can remember the first day of getting there, walking out to smoke a cigarette, and there was other parents out there smoking cigarettes, and they were all laughing. And I started crying, and I couldn't understand how they were laughing. Um, I ended up having a mother come over to me, and we are friends to this day, but she came over to me and introduced herself and welcomed me and made me feel like everything was going to be okay. And I took that, and from that day forward, I made sure that I passed that to the next person that I saw who walked in with that look on their face, because you can tell the look. Um, it's a distant, scared, out of your, just scared out of your mind look, right? Thank you, Highway Star. Appreciate that. Um, so yeah, denial. I can remember when, they told us that um, he was sick. The doctor came in and said, I think he has cancer. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? He's 15 years old. There's no way he can have cancer. What are you talking about? Um, and come to find out, this doctor used to work at a cancer institute. So he knew what he was looking at when he saw the x-rays. He sent us right away to the hospital to get tests run right away. And within 48 hours of him being diagnosed, we were at St. Jude in Memphis. That's how fast it happened. He got on the phone with St. Jude, and they took my son as a patient. And I will say this, all the money that you send to this place is worth every single penny. Do you understand? I do not promote anyone, okay? I don't. But I lived it, and I know firsthand the care that they gave to my son and that they gave to me. Amazing care, okay? And later on, when we get into the story, I'll explain why, when he relapsed at the age that he did, that St. Jude would not take him back. And that was heartbreaking, and I would love to be able to get that changed. Yes, I did know that, Miss R. Domino's Pizza is a huge contributor to St. Jude. I know that because whenever we lived there, Domino's would always come in and feed us usually on Friday nights. And we would also every month, like whenever we stopped living at St. Jude and we were able to go home, but we still had to travel every single month for him to get checkups and receive chemo. When we would go and stay at the Memphis Grizzly house, which is the Pi Beta Kappa house now, you get free Domino's pizza. Um, yeah, it's a great organization, Highway Star. Oh, you lost a 22-year-old here last week. Where are you at, Highway Star? I love Domino's Pizza, Miss R. Yeah. My daughter and her husband own some stores in Charleston. They're always doing stuff with St. Jude. That's good. Yeah, I recommend, people, if people do ask me, oh, you're in Long Island? Okay, that's sad. How did they pass, if I may ask? So we've got the first stage, which is denial. And if anyone wants to share natural causes, it just happened. Wow, that's 22 years old. That is so sad. See, that's so unexpected. It's something like that, denial is going to be the first thing that people go through. That, I can't believe, that this has happened. I just saw him, I just saw her. It was, I just can't imagine what the parents are feeling. Not the first time that you've been through this. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, when you're at St. Jude and you live amongst the families that you see every single day at the hospital, because their children are there getting treatment also, you share. It's like you're a part of a tribe, a certain tribe. Your child has cancer tribe. Um, you understand words that you can talk to these parents and they understand you whenever you go out and try to talk to your friend, back home about what's going on. They don't understand what the hell you're talking about. Um, yeah. So we lost a lot of kids. Paul took it very, very hard. Um, Especially when a really good friend of his, they went to the St. Jude prom together. Um, and she ended up having a bone marrow transplant, and her her body shut down. And she ended up passing away. And I can remember the day that I told Paul. I had to go tell Paul. And we were supposed to be heading to St. Jude the next day, to get uh, a checkup, but we weren't going to make it in time to see her because she passed away. And he sat in his closet for 30 minutes or more and just cried. He cried like a baby. And to see your 17-year-old son who has fought to stay alive, do good and be doing good and finishing school for his best friend, one of his best friends, to die. It was really a punch in the gut for him. And that happened to many of us. We experienced a lot of loss at St. Jude. We experienced a lot of pleasure in meeting people and watching people thrive too, also. Um, so you see both ends of the spectrum. Let's see. 22 is too young. Yes, the pain's unbearable. Oh, it shut the neighborhood down. Goodness. Goodness. Okay, so number one, denial. All right. And so let's go to number two. Number two is anger. Uh, Anger shows up in many forms: rage, outburst, extreme sadness, and isolation. Um, yes, Kaisa, I was going to say that's what I was thinking with you working at the retirement community. Yes, I'm sure you do see a lot of death. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Death is a part of life, but it's something that is so taboo to talk about. No, there's so many people that don't want to talk about it. And I've actually been called and told, by a friend who used to be a friend, um, not to talk about it, that I was being a Debbie Downer, um, just because I wanted to talk about my son. And I couldn't believe that my friend had actually said that to me. I just couldn't believe it. Needless to say, I have set up some boundaries and I haven't spoken to that friend in 2 years. Um, yeah, Queen, when your son passed, it was angry, you hated the world. Yes. I went through anger also before Paul passed, because when he relapsed, when he was diagnosed at 15, I went through the whole stages of grief I went through. Uh, Even, though he didn't pass, just through his sickness, I went through the stages of grief. But when he did pass, even before that, when I found out, when the doctors told me that there was nothing left to do, um, I got angry. I got really angry. Um, I wouldn't let nobody even in the room to tell Paul anything. I was going to make sure that I was the one that told him. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get my napkin. I knew I would cry. Yeah, I lost complete faith in everyone and everything too, hun. And you tend to do that, because you feel like your world has just collapsed, and it has. Paul is my son, Miss R. My son Paul passed away um, almost 3 years ago now. January 27th will be 3 years. And Indy Mom has also uh, lost her son. 2 weeks before Paul passed, her son died in a car accident. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, when I talk about Paul, that's my son who passed away. He was married and he had a daughter who, at the time that he passed away, was 15 months old. She is now 4 years old, just turned 4. Um, and her name is Heaven, and she is a piece of heaven. She truly is a piece of heaven. Um, yeah. Anger. Wow, was I angry. Uh, I was angry at the world. I couldn't understand how anybody was laughing. I was angry because someone smiled at me. I was angry. How can anyone be fucking happy? My child is dying. Doesn't everyone know? Doesn't, can't you tell when you look at my face how much pain I'm in, but you have to understand that people don't know. And a lot of times grief takes this form in this anger. And for me, I know for me, it created for me isolation. At the time that my son passed, right after he passed in 2020, COVID hit. One of the things in grief is isolation. And because we had to go into isolation because of the C word, I'm sorry, probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, we went into isolation because of the C word, and at the same time, we were grieving. And it was really nice not to be around all these people. You know what I'm saying? It was very easy for us to not to be around anybody because at the time nobody could be around each other anyway, right? And so we were angry. I think, me and Larry, thank God we made it through it because, in our anger, he was angry, I was angry, and a lot of times we would, butt heads, even though in the next breath we would get along, but we were both so isolated. And that's where it comes in, where I got involved with YouTube. And YouTube helped bring me to where I am today. But at the time, anger, oh man, I don't know how long I stayed in this stage, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure that I'm out of this stage. There is this thing about grief that people think that, because you've went through denial, that you move on to anger and you move on. And no, a lot of these filter through to each other, okay? I am still angry. I'm sorry, but I am still angry. I'm angry that my child is gone. I'm angry that he's not here to see his daughter grow up. I'm angry. So, I'm not in denial. There are days when I feel like I'm in denial because I don't want to believe, he's gone, but I do know. But I can say I'm still angry. Welcome, Quick Vic. Welcome. I know I don't want to be with anyone because I will show my anger, and that's not fair to them. Yes, Miss R. Yes. Isolation was a must at that point, not hard to hide. Very true. Also, people want to help, but there's nothing they can do. That's right, Miss R. It's sad. We want people there. You have that feeling of where is everybody for me? But then on the other hand, people don't know what to say and it's very uncomfortable. And so it's really tough from both sides on that issue. Yeah. The world can never be the same from that moment. You're right. My world has never been the same since the day they said, we think Paul has T-cell lymphoma and you're going to have to go to St. Jude. I'm angry still over that. I'm angry that my son is not here with me. So I can't say that I've fully moved out of this stage because I'm still in isolation. Um, this is my outlet. YouTube, what I'm doing right here is my outlet. You guys are my people. You are my friends. You are my people. And outside of YouTube, I've met many of you, and I've developed great friendships, wonderful friendships that um, I thank God for. Life isn't fair. Life isn't always fair. And shit happens. Yes, salute Quick Vic. Love you, Quick Vic. You can still be angry even though you are working on the bargaining or acceptance. That's right, Miss R. Yeah, like I said, it's it has its little, it melts into each other. It falls over into each other. So, good morning, Gina. I know, honey. I know, honey. I'm really trying to make it not tough. I know. Thank you, Highway Star. Thank you. So, I think for me, I can truly say that, I'm still angry to a certain degree. I won't say I rage. I will in the beginning. I had outbursts and rage, and extreme sadness. Um, and there are still days where I'm not in extreme sadness, but there are days where moments will hit and I just start crying. I see his pillow with his pictures on it because I have his pictures all over. We had Paul cremated, so I have a little jar that I have him in on my dresser, and um, I see those things and it tears me up. But then there's other times whenever I walk past and I know that he's with me. It's just that he's not with me physically. And, that's the toughest part. I just want to give him a hug and a big kiss and, make him his favorite food. What's that mean, Miss R? If you want to make it not tough, you should show the 5 stages of grief as presented by the giraffe. What's that mean? Okay, don't forget, everybody, on my community page, I put up a post about the 5 stages of grief. Oh, Queen's going to fetch the link. Okay. Okay, so number 3. Let's look at number 3. Bargaining. Bargaining. Trying to postpone the inevitable. I know all about this, unfortunately. Um, oh, Gina, I'm sure. Yeah, you had a grief counselor when your hubby passed, and it's still tough. I'm so sorry, hon. I still see a counselor. I still see a counselor. And I will be quite honest with you. Um, I call Queen. I call my Queen Indy. And we talk. You know, she understands because she has lost a child, and um, me and her can talk on a level to where if I am, you know, if I'm angry or if I'm just really sad or I need to lash out or something, or, you know, I can say it to Indy, and, you know, vice versa. Um, you know, it's good to have somebody, whether it's a grief counselor, a therapist, a psychologist, you know, don't limit yourself. Get help. It's okay to get help. It's okay to talk to somebody, you know, an hour a week. There's, you know, it can do so much good for you just to have somebody on the outside that listens. And that's what I want to give here is, you know, people can't afford therapists, and by no means am I a therapist. I was going to college to become a family and marriage therapy therapist, but I went into full-time ministry instead. And so, um, you know, I want to make this a place where you feel safe, and you can come and be counseled. We can help counsel each other, right, guys? And let me look at this link, y'all. I'll have to go watch this, Miss R. I'm saving it. So yeah. So bargaining, trying to postpone the inevitable. I did a lot of this when I found out about my mother's sickness. And I did this when I found out about my son's sickness. Um, I can remember when the doctors all showed up to tell me that there was nothing left, you know, to do for Paul. And I can remember, you know, asking them, you know, you're able to perform, you know, all these surgeries, you're able to do transplant this and that. You know, there has to be something that you can do. You know, I wanted to postpone the inevitable. You know, I didn't want to walk in and have to tell my son, you know what? There's nothing left that they can do. There's nothing left that they can do. And that means that you're coming home with mama, and we're just going to wait on you to die. That's what I had to tell my son. I didn't let the doctors do it. I told him. Um, but yeah, I bargained. And he did too. Um, but I will say this. There's one thing that my son never said, and that was, why me? Um, and to this day, I respect him for that, because he could have easily said, why me? What have I done? But he didn't. He just smiled. He was so full of love. And he did his best. He never complained. Not one time. Not one time did he complain. Uh, so, you talk about having a hero. He's my hero. He's my hero. Yes, for sure, Miss R. For sure. I was right there. I was right there. He was the last voice I heard. My voice was the last voice he heard, telling him I loved him. I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm just going to put this up for a second so I can smoke. Yes, for sure, Miss R. Yep. We were very, very close. Um, whenever he was first diagnosed, um, him and I were by ourselves at St. Jude. I mean, my husband ran a business, his own business, and we had another son to take care of. So, we had to split up, and you do what you have to do. I do too, Highway Star. I do too. Um, I thank God. I thank God that I was with him. Because a lot of parents don't get that. And, yeah, you know, a lot of parents don't get that. And so I was, it's almost like it's a blessing and a curse. Because you have to see the person that you love the most leave, and you know that you're not going to see them again until you leave too. And you don't know how long that's going to be. And um, but it's such a blessing. It was such a blessing um, to be able to hold my baby and to be there with him, so he wasn't scared. And yeah, I'm breathing, Queen. I'm breathing. So bargaining, trying to postpone the inevitable, sometimes that can come in a friendship too. Let's talk about that. Like I said before, the 5 stages of grief can be for a friendship, or let's just talk about a relationship. Um, sometimes I mean, take for instance the friend that I had that, said that I was a Debbie Downer and I shouldn't be talking about Paul. I had to make a decision that day. And this was a friend that I had been friends with for many, many, many years, very, very close with her. She was actually there for me when Paul was sick. And so it was very hard for me, but I ended up putting a boundary up, um, to where, me and her don't speak anymore. And I had to do that for myself, guys. And we have to realize that sometimes we have to pull away from people. And, it might not be what you want, but it has to be that way because it's in the best interest of you. It's in the best interest of everyone around. And good morning, Chiffon. Welcome, welcome. Um, so we grieve even friendships, even the loss of a relationship, whether it's a marriage or, a loss of a friendship, the loss of, you know, I can't think of another one. Anybody else got something? My coffee's getting cold. I'm going to drop my link, guys, so I can come up on my phone, okay? It's time for me to smoke a cigarette. Pets, yes, Highway Star. That's another one that's very good. I'm glad you said that because our pets, yes, we grieve our pets, don't we? I mean, trying hard but not being able to have a child with your husband. Yeah, that's hard, Miss R. That's a tough one, honey. Yes, grieving. Okay, guys, hold on just a second. I'm going to come up on my phone.
Oh, Miss R, that's so sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. An adoption takes years, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Queen. Queen's sister has a beautiful baby. You never know. You never know. I'm so glad you could join us, Chiffon. I hope your day is going well, sweetheart. You've been on my mind. We need to talk. Miss R, I'll be praying for her. Oh goodness. That's grieving as well. You grieve the losses of miscarriages. Uh my oldest son, his um his son uh passed away a week after his brother did. So when Paul died, TC's child was stillborn a week later, and she was 9 months pregnant, and he just stopped breathing. They don't know why. Or no, I take that back. His the umbilical cord was wrapped around his ankle so tight that it had cut off the circulation. And so I lost my son 1 week, and then the next week I had lost my grandbaby. Oh, someone wants to know how much. I don't have any honey, chiffon. I have preserves, and it's $10 a jar. 9.99 basically. Sid's death is heartbreaking too. Yes, Miss R. You know, yeah. I've never had to experience that, but I've had some friends that did. Um, and it's a constant grieving process. It's a constant grieving process. And that's something that I wanted to say too. I have a little thing to read inside, but I want to say this. People think that, I guess, because you go through the stages of grief, like like you're going to be through with grief one day. And I just want to say that, when you're in the trenches of grief, we can help pull each other up to the side of the trench. You don't have to be down in the trench, but you will always be in grief for your loved ones. Um, the pain will subside to a certain degree. Um, but I still grieve my brother today as much as I did when he first died. I just don't cry as much. Can I put a list when I get time, a list of like what kind I have? Yeah, I can do that, Chiffon. Yes, ma'am. Ooh, this cigarette is good. So yeah, going through that is real. I can't imagine. People, you know, um, I've grieved my relationship, with my sister. I don't have a relationship with my sister anymore. Um, my mom and dad were married 24 years. They had 3 children. My brother has passed. He was the oldest, I'm the middle, and then my sister is 7 years younger than me. Um, and we don't talk anymore. She didn't even come to my son's funeral. That's how bad it was. And there's a whole story behind that. Okay, your friend is interested. Okay, Chiffon. Hey, welcome, Music City Gig Hustlers. I'm going to call you Music City. Good morning, hun. So nice you could join us. We're talking about grief this morning, and we've been talking about the first 3 stages of grief, which is denial, anger, and bargaining. And right now, I'm smoking a cigarette, and we're just discussing those different stages of grief and different areas of grief. Some people may think that grief is only for the loss of someone, but I feel like grief is for relationships or for our pets, um, for miscarriages. Um, you know, I've had to grieve friendships. I've had to grieve the loss of my sister and, not having a relationship with my sister or my father. Um, yes, I know that, my dad's getting older, and yes, I understand that life is precious. But I also understand that at the age that he's at, I shouldn't have to do certain things or tell him certain things or tell him not to speak to me in certain ways. I'm not going to have a man speaking to me. Yes, he's my father, but he is not my husband. And whenever I married, I was handed over to my husband, and put into his care. So he no longer has the right to speak to me in a manner that is not good for me, disrespectful to me. And I had to put an end to it. It just kept going on and on and on, and I had to put a stop to it. Very good, Miss R. Here's an example of bargaining. Me to God. Okay, I'll show you. I'll hurt me. I'm going to use. Yeah, Miss R, that, a lot of times, it's that bargaining of, well, Lord, please, take me instead of my child. Um, you know, uh, trying to bargain out, and trying to change the circumstances by bargaining. Um, going back and forth in your mind. I'm doing good, Chiffon. I'm doing really good. I slept good. I've been up since about 4:30. I got on Quick Vic's Live this morning and was able to share with some people, and um, so I'm good. Yes, Miss R. I'll quit or I'll change if you just cure my child. I've heard a lot of that. I've said it myself. I've said it myself. Um, and a lot of times, we get angry at God. We think that, why is he punishing us? And if you're going to do this to me, I'll do this to you. And it's like, we're not hurting nobody but ourselves. But yeah, that's another bargaining. Why my son? Why my son? Why did my child get cancer? You know, I still, after all these years, I still struggle with that. I still struggle with that. I don't know that I'll ever be able to come to a conclusion until I stand before God and he fills me in. He fills me in and lets me know what's going on. What's going on? What happened? I hope you're doing good too. Hey, Lord Doc, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I'm glad you stopped by. Do y'all hear the roosters crowing? I don't know if y'all can hear them. Chicken Whisperer's out feeding the roosters or feeding the chickens. So they're all gathering around. I tried to get a video of Sneaky yesterday getting up on a cheese ball uh, tub, and he was up on that damn thing. I came out, and he was up on that thing. It looked like he was in, you know how the guys look that are on logs and water and they're rolling their feet. That's what this damn chicken looked like. And I tried to get my camera up real fast and I couldn't get it up fast enough and he jumped off. I was like, shit, I could have had a good video. Yes, Highway Star, we have all of our roosters free range. Yep, all of our roosters free range. Let me see if I can walk outside out here on the other side and let y'all hear the roosters. Maybe I'll put the camera on. Hold on, guys. Y'all talk amongst yourself for just a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. Can y'all see? Well, good morning. Good morning, guys. Are you loving the weather or what? Yeah. Yeah, Queen, you used to have sheep, cows, chickens, goats, and kids. Worst of all, a husband. You are too much, girl. Thank you, Highway Star. We got a lot of cleaning up to do, but we were down for a little while. You know, that's another thing that people don't understand about grief is that it will take you down to places to where you don't have the energy to take care of what you need to take care of, and it gets out of control. Miss R. Oh, you guys crack me up. Crack me up.
Okay, guys. Yes, it does, Highway Star. Are you the only man in the room getting nervous? Hey, Kaisa. Said hey to the roosters, huh? You guys are funny, funny. Okay, so we've got denial, anger, bargaining, and the next one is depression. A heaviness or a deep sadness after experiencing a loss. I can say that a heavy, heavy depression came over me, and it started years ago whenever my brother died. And it continued on after that because it seemed like I had one loss after the other. One loss after the other. So, you guys, you can be in a state of grief And you can be in different stages for different people at different times. And this gets very, very mentally draining and emotionally draining. What link, Harry? Are you talking about my link? I want to say this. Persistent traumatic grief can cause us to cycle, sometimes quickly, through the stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. These stages are our attempts to process change and to protect ourselves while we adapt to a new reality. And that's the whole thing about, you know, loss and grief, that you're adapting, you're having to adapt to a new reality of that person not being in your life. And that can be very difficult. And it can take years. Sometimes you will never get over it. Oh, you pulled up, Harry, but the internet's acting up. Okay. Um, but yeah, depression. I stayed in a state of depression for more than 10 years. It absolutely made my life a living hell. And depression is where you feel like you're in the midst of hell whenever you're depressed, because you can't see a way out of your darkness. You're right, Highway Star. Grief comes back to haunt us. I'm living proof of that when I lay in bed at night and I can see my son's face in front of me, because, and that's the sad thing, is that I try not to see him that way because I know he's not like that anymore, right? But when I lay down at night and I lay my head down, that's what I see. And it's like my stomach drops and a lump forms in my throat. And then I can't sleep because all I can think about is that. And so we have to retrain our mind, in situations like this. And it's difficult. Um, Yes, Queen Indie Mom, this is the worst time of year for almost everyone. I'm having a difficult time, I'm not gonna lie. We talked about this yesterday. Um, I don't, I'm not, I used to be real big into holidays, and, we have a little tree up. If it wasn't for my mother in law, we wouldn't have a tree, probably. Um, we don't have any lights up or nothing like that. We just have the tree up. Oh, Music City. My mother was in depression after my brother committed suicide. She never got over it. Oh, I bet. I'm so sorry. My condolences. I hear my son begging for me to get him out of that damn car. I heard him and was held back. Couldn't even say a word to my baby before he passed. Yeah, honey. That's terrible. That's terrible that they held you back. Yeah, I opened a closet and smelled my mom's perfume many years after she passed. It was heartwarming. Oh, okay, Kaisa. You have a good day at work, honey, and I'm so glad you showed up. Hope to see you tomorrow morning. See you tonight in the YouTube streets. Hey, Miss Sue Latin. Good morning. My deepest depression expressed as me not being able to feel anything. A cotton ball consumed my whole head. Flat eyes, no feeling. Yes, Miss R. I know that feeling. That feeling to where you just lay there and there's nothing else that you can do. You just lay there. Yeah. Depression is a hole that you can sink into, and there's levels of depression. I won't say I'm depressed now. I haven't been depressed in several months. I won't say that it doesn't try to come, because every single day has different things that come up, different situations that come up, and it's difficult to deal with life, and things that you can't control, and so you have to work through that, and sometimes you get depressed over it, and so I'm fighting that. um, I get depressed, especially this time of year, because I miss my son. um, he made Christmas, and and I know everybody was probably thinking, well, you have your other son, and you're right, I do. But we have to remember that, my children are grown. Um, my son is 32 and he'll be 33 in March. Paul would have turned 30 this year. And so, still though, TC will come and show up, but it's still, you are missing a whole human being. Um, his spirit and what he brought, you know, um, to the gathering, to the family. You always feel that piece missing, and it's hard. And so I've been trying to get into the Christmas mood. Mom's making loaves of bread, and I'm giving jam. So that's our Christmas gift this year. Um, from just getting the big kids, that's their Christmas. Yes, you're right, Queen. These holidays are never the same again once you lose someone, especially a child. Tyler loved Christmas. Paul loved Christmas. And, before he passed, he died January 27th. So we had a great Christmas. But what hurt the worst was, after he passed away, I realized whenever Hannah went to move and take her stuff with her, all the things that we had bought my son for Christmas were still with tags on them. And it broke my heart. Miss R, my other son, he didn't deal with his grief very well at all. Um, he's been an addict for 15 years. And when his brother died, the night that his brother died, he ended up going to jail. So he was not here when his brother passed. The jail did bring him to the funeral, but I was not allowed to see TC. He was only able to be with his brother by himself. So he had to handle this on his own by himself. He went into rehab in July, and he's been out of rehab for a couple of weeks now. He completed it, and he's been clean for over 6 months. Yeah. So he is doing his best. We talk about it on a regular basis. That's something that I'm very open with him about. He's very open with me. We have a great relationship. And, he's a very wise man. He cries when he needs to cry, but a lot of what he did was when he was in rehab, he did the work with his therapist about losing his brother. Um, so he's doing well. Sue Latin, my dad passed in 2000, my mom in 2003. My dad was his home due to dementia brought on from being an alcoholic. Yeah, for some reason it wasn't hard for me at the time, but now I have lots of regrets. Yeah, Sue, I'm so sorry. I have a lot of regrets too. Believe me, I lay in bed at night and think about those regrets. I think that that should be one of the stages of grief. Yeah, he's Music City. He has the night that he got arrested, he was so drunk that he really can't remember, and it's probably a good thing that he wasn't here, um, because he was really depressed, and I was scared he was going to do something to himself. So it's really best that he was in jail. I know that that seems harsh, but at the time, with everything going on, it was the best place because I was losing one child and I was afraid I'd lose another one to suicide. I really was. Oh, goodness, Sue. Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, yeah, drugs can take your life. It has stolen a lot of his life. But he is fighting. He's fighting to keep it back. Oh, girl, yeah, Queen. Before I got my new phone, I had to come to you and we talked about this, all the text messages that I still had from Paul. And what I was going to do with those text messages. If it wasn't for you, I really wouldn't have understood what to do. So I've got those forever now. Yes, Queen, it's been a true miracle that you haven't picked up. Queen is 8 years sober, you guys, and when her son passed away, she could have easily used, but she didn't. So I applaud you, girlfriend. I applaud you. Good morning, Ron. So good to see you. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. On Tuesdays, I honor him. I will talk about him and grief. I will talk about the ones that I have lost, and I will bring their love and their light to the forefront. Okay, Sue, you have a good day, honey. I love your emojis. Monkey see, monkey do. There's nothing like a mother's love, Chiffon. Nothing like it. Especially, the ones, there's some mothers that you question, and I've got some on my mind that I'm thinking about right now. Queen, Indy, you know who I'm thinking about. Um, but a mother's love conquers all and it heals all, doesn't it, Chiffon? We'll fight that battle for them. Yeah, it's been hard, girl, but you have fought your ass off. This has been a hard fight, but that's what you've won. Oh, Miss R, you're 6.5 right now. Praise God. Good for you. Good job. I salute all of you. Yes, I'm talking about Brittany. My mother never gave up on me, and I'm able to show her how grateful I am for that. Yes, Chiffon. Yes, that's such a blessing, honey. And that's, I've thought about, how TC, how he feels. I know that, um, he wants to make me happy, but I've told him from the beginning, to make sure he does this for him. I don't want him to do it for me because, um, he's got to be the one that lives this life, his own life, and I want him to find his way, without drugs, and I want it to be because he wants it. Yeah, your mom and all family gave up on you. This was all for me and showing them. Yeah. No, I never gave up on TC. Never. Never, girl. I will never give up on my son. Music City, I gotta go. Glad I found you and look forward to being here more often. Everyone have a wonderful day. You too, Music City. I'm so glad you came. Yeah, make sure you come back and we're going to talk about all kinds of different topics. Um, I really appreciate you coming back and subscribing. I wanted to say too before everybody, before I get off of here, because I've been on for an hour and a half now. So I've got an idea. So once a month, we're going to do a trivia. Okay, guys? And this month, it'll be a Christmas raffle. And so what it'll be, not a raffle, whoever wins gets the most points out of, let's say, 10 to 15 trivia questions will win a free jar of jam. Okay, guys? Now, of course, this will be for within the 50 states. And if Dagmar wins, then of course I've got to figure out how much it would be to send to Belgium, which it would probably be an arm and a leg. She could probably get jam way better in Belgium than she could for me for that. So we'll have to figure out what we do for Dagmar. But yes, Queen and we've been talking about topics and ideas, and we came up with this. This is a trivia, and we're going to have this once a month. Okay, guys? Once a month, I'll come on and we'll do trivia, and whoever wins will get a free jar of my Honeybees preserves. You have not spoken to your little brother. Okay, see, I'm the same way, Chiffon. I haven't spoken to my little sister. I'm okay with that because some people that you have to live from a distance. Yes, honey, I've been talking about that. Um, yeah, Chiffon. Sometimes, we have to let people go, and it's for our best interest to, put distance between us and that person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I don't remember that highway star, but it sounds funny. That sounds funny. Okay, well, I was born in 1973, so thank you, Chiffon, sweetie. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas that I feel that the Lord has really been working and given to me, so I'm excited about the live chats. I am uh, going to be needing StreamYard. And so right now I can use it for free for up to 20 hours. So I'm going to use that and then get StreamYard turned on. Because I don't think the 20 hours is going to be enough for me a month. Uh, I was thinking that maybe I could do a live a day for about an hour, but to be honest, an hour is not long enough for me. I think that um, how many people are in here right now? I can't tell. Queen, can you tell me how many people? Oh, I know, Dagmar. I bet you is arm and a leg to send it across the ocean. It was going to be over $100 to ship some jam to Australia. Um, it would be interesting, but yeah, we'll do something for you though, Dagmar. I don't know what, but we'll figure out something. I don't want to leave you out, even if it's a gift card or something I put in the mail for you. Um, okay, so that's an idea, and you know, let's see. Queen, I want to say congratulations. Yes, Garcia. Right, Ron. Yeah, Cash App or something of the value. Yeah, that's a great idea. You've been to 49 states, Highway Star? Oh my gosh, I would love to do that. That's one of mine and my husband's dream is to get like a bus and convert it or a tiny, do like a tiny bus, like a van living type thing. Um, that would be so cool. Let's see, don't talk much about it on my live. Don't know if he listens. If who listens? Shafai, your brother? Who are we talking about? You've lived in 10 states? You have been, that's why you're called Highway Star, huh? Which one have you not been to, Miss R says? You're right, Dagmar. You first have to win something and worry about that later. Oh, that's awesome. I love your name, Highway Star. That's cool. That's right. That's right, Chiffon. Hit that like button. I was going to say Hawaii. I was going to say Hawaii. Ding, 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 ding. Where are you at now, Highway Star? Excuse me. Oh, Long Island, New York. Cool. Awesome. The bigger you try to make your world, the smaller it gets. Yeah, yeah. That is so true, high water. I don't know why I keep calling you high water. I guess I need my new contacts in. That's what I need. Oh, that's what you meant, jam. Okay, jam, honey. Okay. Yes, ma'am. You know I ain't nothing but jam and trouble, girlfriend. Jam and trouble. So give me something you guys would like to see me can. I'll tell you if I can can it or not, and if we eat it. Um, yeah, I want to travel too. I would love to travel. Yeah, Chiffon, just I'll text you, and let's just get together with me, and we'll talk about it. I'll let you know what's up. So everybody, I think we had a good live today. We did not get to the last stage of grief, which is acceptance, but we're going to be using this. Oh, yes, Queen. You know what? I just said that the other day. Let me write that down because I just told Larry. I said I need to look up pickled eggs because I love pickled eggs. Yes, I could do quarts of them. Let's do an 8-hour live. Sure, let's do an 8-hour live. Yeah, you're right. I have tons of eggs, girlfriend. You are right. Are those shorts? What are those, Dagmar? Pants? Shorts? Let's see, I missed something. Okay, let me tell you what I do, Gina. It's not necessarily make my own butter. What I do is I can my own butter. So the butter is just a brand, a on sale brand stick unsalted butter, and I can it up. And so right now, I haven't been able to find butter on sale. Um, I'm looking. Once it goes on sale, I'll be able to do a video on canning butter. Um, and yes, it's got a 5-year shelf life. So that is a great video. I'm writing that down. That's why I'm talking like I am. Let's see. Do a live when I'm canning? Yeah, I've thought about that too. What would you like to see me can? Because there's water bath canning and then there's pressure canning. I've never been to an HEB, Gina. Even when I lived in Texas, when I lived in Houston, I don't remember HEBs being there, but I watch a lady um, who cooks, and she's in Texas, and she has filmed herself going to an HEB Texas grocery store. So I've never been to one though. Yeah, please hit that like button, guys. Water bath is what you would likely do. Yeah, water bathing is a lot of like jams and jellies, uh, stuff like the cranberry sauce. And then when you want to get into your meats and your vegetables and soups and broths and things of this nature, then you're going to do pressure canning. Water bath canning is the easiest. Um, of course, because it only takes 10 to 15 minutes according to what you're processing on how long you boil it, and then that's it. Pressure canning is a little bit more involved. It's a little bit more intense because you have to babysit it. You cannot walk away from it. You got to have someone on it at all times. So you can't be like, oh, I'm going to go take a cigarette break, or whatever, because that is not going to happen. Okay, so I've got canning butter, canning pickled eggs, do a live of me canning. Okay, sounds good to me. And we can choose something like, I'd like to show you guys how to can potatoes, because if there's anything you can always use on the shelf, and that's potatoes. Thank you, Queen, so much for dropping Chiffon's link. Um, have you ever looked at Goodwill stores for mason jars? No, I haven't, Gina, but I've heard about them, and I am uh, willing, and this is hard for me to say, I'd be willing to go to some garage sales and start checking. Now that's huge for me because I do not leave my house, all right? Unless I need to go to the doctor or unless I'm going out to the Chinese buffet, which is very seldom. We hardly ever go out. We eat at home. But I love the Goodwill. Yeah, I haven't been to it in a long time, but I am not against it. You guys, Sue says, you guys are on the bus with me going to the store, but I don't have my earbuds in, so I can't hear you. All right, Sue, I'm glad we're going with you. Thank you. Oh, goodness. Okay, guys. Well, you know what? I had a wonderful day. I'm so glad everyone came. Um, Sue keeps us on our toes. I believe that we had a great live today. I thank you all for sharing. I know that grief is hard on all of us. You know, you don't, doesn't have to be about losing a child. It can be all kinds of things, right? It can be losing a pet, losing a friendship, a marriage, you know, whether it's miscarriage, diagnosis of cancer, not talking to your sibling anymore, not talking to a parent anymore. All these things I have experienced and I am now experiencing. Um, I want to let you guys know that there is no judgment here. I absolutely love uh, having this platform to give you the voice and give you the platform. I can tell you of my experience, but I want to hear of your experience. I want people to be able to come and share their experience. I want to learn from your experience. It's not about me, it's about us. And so, oh, thank you, Miss R. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you being here. The rose and the thorn and sorrow and gladness are linked together. Yes, Gina. I can always count on you to give me a good quote. Love you, girl. Oh, Sue Latin only needs 14 more subs to hit 100, guys. All right? Let's go sub to Sue Latin. I want to thank everyone for subbing to the channel. I have, as of this morning, I had 140 subscribers, and this is so it makes me so makes my heart happy. Makes my heart happy to know that there's more people that want to tune in and to, share in their experience of the topics we're going to be talking about. Um, it gives us a place to go, and there's nowhere else on YouTube so far that I've seen where you could come in and have a safe place to talk and shoot the shit and have no judgment, but have a cool place to hang out. Like, subscribe, and share. If you want to give me some watch hours, put me on during the day and just have me run. If you want to donate to my coffee fund, it's Honeybees Home Cash App Honeybees Homestead. And until tomorrow morning, peace, love, and happiness. Bless your hearts. Honeybees Homestead. Have a good day, y'all.